Sophia and Michael had been married for 8 years. From the outside, they seemed like the perfect couple, a lovely home in a quiet neighborhood, successful careers, and a 5-year-old son, Ethan, who brought light into their lives. Michael was a software engineer, steady and thoughtful, who prioritized his family above everything else. Sophia, a marketing executive, was vibrant, ambitious, and always on the move. But beneath the surface, cracks had begun to form in their marriage. Life had become a blur of routines. Michael, ever the doting husband, often found himself sidelined as Sophia pursued her career ambitions with relentless energy. She traveled frequently for work, leaving Michael to manage Ethan and the household. While he never complained, there were nights when he sat alone in their quiet house, wondering if Sophia still saw him as the man she had once fallen in love with. Sophia, on the other hand, felt trapped in a cycle of expectations. Though she loved her family, she sometimes felt stifled by the predictability of her life. The spark she had once shared with Michael felt dimmed by years of responsibilities and unspoken resentments. She told herself these feelings were normal, that every marriage had its ups and downs. And then, she met Ryan. The stranger. Ryan was a consultant hired by Sophia's firm for a 6-month project. He was charming, confident, and had an easy wit that made everyone gravitate toward him. Sophia found herself laughing more in his company than she had in months. At first, their connection was professional, but as late nights at the office turned into shared dinners, the lines began to blur. Ryan had a way of making Sophia feel seen. He noticed the small details, her new haircut, the way she tapped her pen when she was thinking, her favorite coffee order. With Michael, those moments seemed to have faded into the background, swallowed by the routine of everyday life. One evening, after a particularly stressful day, Ryan suggested they grab a drink. Sophia hesitated but ultimately agreed. Over glasses of wine, their conversation turned personal. Ryan opened up about his recent divorce, and Sophia found herself sharing her own struggles in her marriage. "You're amazing, Sophia," Ryan said, his voice soft but insistent. "You deserve to feel appreciated." Her breath caught. The words, so simple yet so potent, resonated deeply. In that moment, she felt a pull she couldn't resist. That night marked the beginning of their affair. The affair. Sophia told herself it was a temporary escape, a way to fill the void she felt inside. She compartmentalized her life, keeping Ryan separate from her home, her family, her son. When she was with Ryan, she felt alive, desired, and free. But when she returned home, the weight of her actions pressed heavily on her chest. Michael, ever trusting and supportive, didn't suspect a thing. He noticed that Sophia seemed happier, more energetic, but attributed it to her success at work. "You've been glowing lately," he remarked one evening, wrapping an arm around her waist as they prepared dinner together. Sophia forced a smile, guilt gnawing at her. "It's just been a good week," she replied, avoiding his gaze. Ethan, too young to understand the complexities of adult relationships, was blissfully unaware. He adored both his parents and often drew pictures of the three of them holding hands. Sophia kept one of his drawings in her purse, a constant reminder of what she was putting at risk. The discovery. Michael discovered the affair purely by accident. One evening, Sophia had left her phone on the kitchen counter while she put Ethan to bed. A message from Ryan popped up, "Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Last night was incredible." Michael stared at the screen, his mind struggling to process what he was reading. His first instinct was disbelief. This couldn't be real. Sophia wouldn't, would she? When she came downstairs, Michael was sitting at the dining table, her phone in his hand. "Who's Ryan?" he asked, his voice calm but strained. Sophia froze, her face draining of color. "Michael, Don't lie to me," he interrupted, his tone sharper now. "I saw the message." Tears welled in her eyes as she sat down across from him. "It's not what you think," she began, but even as the words left her mouth, she knew they sounded hollow. "Then tell me what it is," Michael said, his voice cracking. Sophia took a deep breath, the weight of her secret crushing her. "I've been seeing someone," she admitted quietly. It started a few months ago. It wasn't supposed to happen. I never meant to hurt you. Michael's face twisted with pain. Why, Sophia? Was I not enough for you? It's not about you, she said, tears streaming down her face. It's about me. I've been feeling lost. And Ryan made me feel like I mattered again. Michael sat in silence for what felt like an eternity. Finally, he spoke, his voice heavy with emotion. You mattered to me, Sophia. You always have. Why couldn't you talk to me instead of turning to someone else? The fallout. The days that followed were a blur of pain and confusion. Michael moved into the guest room, unable to sleep beside Sophia. They agreed to keep things normal for Ethan's sake, but the tension in the house was palpable. Sophia ended her affair with Ryan, realizing that whatever fleeting happiness she'd found with him wasn't worth destroying her family. But the damage had already been done. Michael struggled to reconcile the woman he loved with the one who had betrayed him. He was angry, heartbroken, and yet, beneath it all, he still cared for her. He couldn't just turn off his feelings, no matter how much he wanted to. Sophia, racked with guilt, made every effort to show Michael that she was committed to rebuilding their marriage. She suggested therapy, something they had never considered before, and promised to be completely transparent about her actions. Rebuilding trust. Therapy was uncomfortable at first. Michael was reluctant to open up, and Sophia had to confront the full extent of the pain she had caused. But over time, the sessions became a space where they could express their feelings honestly, without fear of judgment. I felt invisible, Sophia admitted during one session. Not because of anything you did, but because I stopped valuing myself. And instead of talking to you about it, I made the worst mistake of my life. Michael listened, his expression a mix of hurt and compassion. I wish you had told me, he said. I would have done anything to help you. As the weeks turned into months, small moments of connection began to resurface. A shared laugh over a childhood story. A spontaneous hug in the kitchen. Slowly, they began to remember what had drawn them together in the first place: forgiveness and healing. Forgiveness didn't come easily for Michael. There were days when the betrayal felt like a fresh wound, when he questioned whether their marriage could ever truly recover. But he also saw how hard Sophia was trying, how deeply she regretted her actions. One evening, as they sat on the couch after putting Ethan to bed, Michael turned to her. I'm still hurt, and I don't know when, or if, I'll fully get over this, he said. But I want to try. For us. For Ethan. Sophia's eyes filled with tears. I'll spend the rest of my life making this up to you, she promised. They embraced, the first genuine moment of closeness they had shared in months. Epilogue. A year later, their marriage looked different. It wasn't perfect, there were still moments of doubt and pain, but it was stronger in many ways. They had learned to communicate better, to prioritize each other amidst the chaos of life. Sophia had rediscovered her sense of self, not through Ryan, but through therapy and introspection. Michael, too, had grown, realizing that even the strongest relationships require constant care and attention.